Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. My name's Sue and I love baking with spelt flour, and I think it was about a year or 2 years ago I shared a recipe on how to make whole grain spelt flour scones but without any butter. My secret ingredient is coconut milk. So today I'm going to share how to make date scones without butter, without any dairy. So let's get mixing. So I've already chopped up my dates. I'm using the Wholemeal dates, which are quite soft. I've removed the seeds and just chopped them in half. So there's 80 grams ready to go, or 10 dates. And in this bowl, I've got my spelt flour already. I'm using whole grain spelt flour, as I said, and there's 220 grams or 1.5 cups. And we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And we're going to add some sugar, 1 tablespoon. And we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt. And this is optional, and I forgot to get it out, but I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon with fruit, and so I thought it'd be great just to add a little bit of extra spice. So a teaspoon of cinnamon. And these come together so quickly because we don't have to deal with the butter. We're just going to pour in some coconut milk. So I've got coconut milk here, and that is 150 grams or mils, 2/3 of a cup. And we're going to add some extra on the top to brush them. And before I started filming, I've had my oven heating up at 200 degrees C with a fan. Well, that's 220, and I'll pop the other Fahrenheit measurements above. And I've set the tray in there as well. So a little secret tip is to pop the tray in the oven first as well to preheat that, and it helps the scones go to rise. Now I'm just going to add all those dates in. Move all these bits and pieces out of the way. I actually find it easier to go in with your hands, so save getting my hands dirty. I'm going to put some gloves on. And it doesn't require too much kneading. And spelt flour, because it doesn't have the gluten fibres like regular flour, it doesn't require much mixing. And if you don't have dates in the house, you can add any other dried fruit like raisins or dried cranberries. And look at that. It's coming together really well. I have a confession, I don't usually like eating scones, but since I've been making this version, I actually really like them. I've grown accustomed to them. I think I like the texture and the flavour of the spelt flour. I don't really like regular, British white flour scones. I always found them too dry and crumbly. Move my bowl out. I've just got some extra coconut milk here. And I've got my baking paper here. I'm just going to bring it into the camera, or into the set. So all I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut them into circles. I found, as I was testing this, I did it 2 ways. I tested it in the circles, like I did for my other video, which I'll pop the link above. But I found the triangle ones better. So all you do is you just smooth it into this kind of like round shape, and it's about that thick. I'm not going to stop and move the camera because I've got my gloves on. So I'm just going to bring the knife through into 6 even pieces, and it doesn't matter if they're not exact. And this is great because you don't have to fuss about having the right ring shape. I think I've just made them 8. All right, they're a bit uneven. I was not focusing. I'm going to just make them smaller. Okay, so I've done them uneven. You'll have to forgive me. We've got a few different sizes here. So make sure you do 6. So 3 on each side. So I've done, what have I done? 8 now, but they're a bit odd. Anyway, I'm going to brush them with the coconut milk. This just helps them brown. If you're new here today, thank you for clicking on, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and then you get to know when I've got my new videos releasing. Apart from spelt, I like baking with other alternative flours like buckwheat flour, sorghum flour, teff flour, and I also share gluten-free. And I also like sharing some vegetarian or vegan savoury dishes. So they're all ready to go into the oven. I'm just going to take these gloves off. Get my tray out of the oven. So the tray's nice and hot, as I said. I'm going to just gently place this on the tray. And I'm going to bake this quite high up, not the lower third that I usually do for baking, kind of in the middle. Bake it for 12 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown. I just got my scones out and I checked them at 10 minutes and they're still soft. So I left them in for another 5 minutes. So fingers crossed I haven't made them too dry today. I'm going to let them cool for 10 minutes before we crack one open and taste it. So it's time to do the taste test. I'll just slide that off the paper. I'm going to do a small one because I cut a few small ones today. They're still really warm and quite moist on the inside. I think the dates actually made it cook a little bit longer today. And they still, while they're cooling down, they'll still continue to cook a little bit. Check out that texture. It's still quite soft. Yum. So I'm just going to add a little bit of butter. We like having ours with this delicious blackberry jam. And if you're needing cream, add cream, but we don't eat cream on ours. Yum. I think adding coconut milk, well, I believe that it makes it more moist and less crumbly. And leaving the date pieces quite large, you have that nice surprise of the clump of dates. And when they're fresh out of the oven, you get that nice crispy edge. I'm going to go away and finish eating these. Let me know if you give this date scone recipe with spelt flour and the dairy a go. Hit a thumbs up. Don't forget, share with a friend. And I love getting your comments below. So send me a little comment and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to film for you. Hej då from Sweden. That's goodbye. See you next time. Yum, yum, yum.